if it's not going to harm the public, you should be allowed to do it.
Thank you, Mr. Finley. We now call our council meeting to order. Will all please stand for our invocation by Mr. Pastor Mac Milner of the Refuge Church and our pledge of allegiance.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. It's an honor to come and be able to give the invocation. And I just wanted to share a couple of scriptures with you and then have a prayer over each and every one of you. I wanted to come from Proverbs 8, starting in verse 1. Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of the high places, by the way, in the places of the paths. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, in the coming in of the doors. In the Old Testament, when they talked about gates coming into the city, that's where the people that ran the city, that made judgment or had rule over the city, that's where they sat. You, ladies and gentlemen, are the gates of the city. Hear, for I will speak excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. All the words of my mouth are righteousness. There is nothing forward or perverse in them. As the gatekeepers of the gates of the city, it's up to you to listen to the Lord and come from a place of righteousness. So you guys need, ladies and gentlemen, need wisdom, you need knowledge, understanding, and coming from a place of righteousness. The Lord will always speak to us if we'll listen. If we'll be careful to listen first and then speak and come from a place of righteousness, then in Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people will rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. We want, as a city, I have an interest in this city, not only because I'm a pastor of the church, but because I love the people of Pine Bluff. And I want to see this city thrive and come forward. And we can do this if we'll just listen together and come from a place of righteousness. Don't be too quick to speak, but think what the Lord has to say and seek His wisdom, seek His knowledge, seek His understanding, and come from a righteousness which is just, lawful. Righteous is right standing with God. It's being approved by God. So right now, in the name of Jesus, I just pray over each and every council member here. I pray over the mayor here. I decree right now a spirit of righteousness to fall upon you. I decree and declare right now for the rest of this year that each one of you will listen and constantly seek the knowledge, the understanding, and the wisdom of God, and come from a place of righteousness in every decision that you make for this city. And I know that it will happen if you will just put your eyes on Him and your thoughts on Him. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor Milner. May we please have a roll call from our city clerk?
Councilmember Mays. Here. Councilmember Holcomb.
Here.
Councilmember Brown Jr.
Here.
Councilmember Lockett. Councilmember Brown Sr.
Here.
Councilmember Shaner.
Here.
Councilmember Frazier. Here. And Councilmember Brunson. Here.
7 present. And we ask you to please keep Councilmember Bruce Lockett in prayer in the loss of his father, Brother Roosevelt Herring. Amen? Amen. Amen. All of you should have the minutes from last month's.
So moved.
Second. It's been moved and properly seconded that the minutes from March 4th meeting be properly moved and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those that oppose, so moved. Moving into our committee reports, Ways and Means, Councilmember Brown Jr. stepping in for Councilmember Mays.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ways and Means met just before this council meeting. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Ways and Means met just before this council meeting. We had one item to discuss there. It's an ordinance authorizing the issuance of Amendment 78 debt instrument in favor of U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance Incorporated for acquisition of a fire truck and associated apparatus and for related purposes. This was discussed in Ways and Means, and it was moved and second to send to the full council with a due pass. And that is all we discussed in Ways and Means, and that concludes my report.
It's been properly moved and second that an ordinance authorizing the issuance of an Amendment 78 debt instrument in favor of U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance Incorporated for acquisition of a fire truck and associated apparatus and for related purposes. Is there any?
Oh, no, we just, no, that was just for discussion inside of Ways and Means.
Okay. All right. Any more?
No, just bring forward as a resolution.
Okay.
Want me to go ahead?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, ordinance and resolutions also met just before this council meeting. Tonight, we have the agenda item number 1, which will be read for the third and final time this evening. Agenda item 2, we will attempt to finish that ordinance tonight. Agenda item 3 will be read one time. We have an agenda that was added, which was discussed in Ways and Means, which is an ordinance authorizing the issuance of an Amendment 78 debt instrument in favor of U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance Incorporated for acquisition of a fire truck and associated apparatus and for related purposes. I move that we add this item to the agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that the ordinance authorizing the issuance of an Amendment 78 debt instrument in favor of U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance Incorporated for acquisition of a fire truck and associated apparatus and for related purposes. Is there any question or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. All we have to do a roll call on it.
Roll call.
Councilmember Mays. Councilmember Holcomb Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett. Councilmember Brown Sr.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaner.
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier. Aye. Councilmember Brunson. Aye.
All right, this ordinance will be included as agenda item 3A. All right, moving along, agenda item number 4 is a resolution which will be completed tonight. And we also have 2 added resolutions. The first one is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Vaughn and Sons Lawn Service for commercial landscape maintenance of the first phase of downtown streetscape project. I move that we add this resolution to the agenda.
Second.
A resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Vaughn and Son Lawn Service for commercial landscape maintenance of the first phase of the downtown streetscape project. Can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Mays. Councilmember Holcomb Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett. Councilmember Brown Sr.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaner.
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier. Aye. Councilmember Brunson. Aye.
This resolution will be agenda item number 5. The next resolution that we have is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Rich Brothers Services for grass cutting and maintenance on the Martha Mitchell Expressway. I move that we add this resolution to the agenda.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Rich Brothers Services for grass cutting and maintenance on the Martha Mitchell Expressway. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Mays.
Yeah. Okay, on this one right here, this is, you talking about a difference in the,
We're just adding on.
No, we added the, we already added that
there's
one.
a big difference in it. That's what I'm gonna
And
start
for discussion.
Right, we already.
Okay,
we already-
all right.
Councilmember Brown, Holcomb Jr.,
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.,
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett, Councilmember Brown Sr.,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaner,
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier, and Councilmember Brunson.
Aye.
This resolution will be added as agenda item number 6. Okay. And that concludes ordinances and resolutions.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown Jr. Moving on to Economic and Community Development, Councilmember Brown Sr.
Thank you very much. At this time, there is no report, but I will save my comments until agenda item number 1. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Brown Sr. Public Health and Welfare, Councilmember Frazier.
Yes, we have Public Health and Welfare met on March 6th at 11 a.m. It was a brief meeting. The Area on Aging agency was not able to be there, and then the Health Department wasn't able to be there either. But we did have transit there, and as you all can see, I got my transit shirt on because it's Transit Appreciation Week. And so if you see any of your transit workers, please show some appreciation to them. And also, there will be some things going on at Transit. Today was Popcorn Day. I don't know if you know. Some of you took advantage of that and had some popcorn today, but they're going to have different activities at Transit this week. So please stop by when you get a chance just to say hi and step in and have a little meal with them or just fellowship. So I would appreciate that. Also, we're going to have... I spoke on mental health and wellness. Well, I was going to actually do a resolution, but I'm actually going to do it as a proclamation. So I'm not going to talk about that right now until I speak to the mayor. But we are going to have a mental health and wellness conference. It's going to be on May 18th from 10 to 2. And so if you can, it's going to be at New St. Hurricane. And I would like to thank publicly Project Live and Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated Delta Omega Omega chapter for partnering with me on this endeavor. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Frazier. Public Works, Councilmember Shaner.
Public Works has not met since our last meeting. I will get with the clerk and we will have a meeting before the next council meeting. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Shaner. Traffic and Aviation, Councilmember Brunson.
Traffic and Aviation has not met since the last council meeting, but I will get with the clerk on our next meeting and it'll be sent out to everyone. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Brunson. Administration, I have one of my committee members here, Councilmember Brown Sr. I have a new line of employment. We normally met on the second Tuesday of each month at 1:30. We have two options. We can meet. I get off work every day at 3 o'clock. We can meet. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thursday, I go to work at 1 p.m. and we can meet that morning. Whatever is best for you, we can have that meeting.
Do I have to make that?
No, sir.
Okay, well, I appreciate you, yes, I appreciate it, because that sounds good.
And we do have some items that we need to take care of.
We mostly Zoom anyway, right?
Well, if we meet on Thursday, we can meet in person.
Okay.
But and if we meet in the evening, we can meet in person.
Very good.
It can be hybrid or in person.
I'll let you know.
But I do have new employment now, so.
You changed over? I'll let you know.
Yes, sir. All right. So that concludes my report. So we're trying to set up a new time for our administration.
Okay.
All right. Public Safety, Councilmember Brown Jr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Public Safety has not had a meeting since the last council meeting. I will try to get with my committee members to find a time that we can meet, because we did not have a quorum at the last, that was on the 5th. We didn't have a quorum there, and so we'll try to get a meeting scheduled here soon. So I'll get with the committee members and get with the clerk on that. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Brown Jr. Moving on to our proposed ordinance and resolutions, Councilmember Brown Jr.
All right. Agenda item number 1, we have an ordinance amending the zoning code of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas to enact regulations governing the location of small box retail stores in the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and for related purposes, up for the third and final reading.
An ordinance amending the zoning code of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas to enact regulations governing the location of small box retail stores in the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and for related purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that an ordinance amending the zoning code of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas to enact regulations governing the location of small box retail stores in the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and for related purposes. Are there any questions or comments? Councilman Brown Sr.
Thank you very much, sir. I can't really figure out how to really start this. And thanks for the radio personality for figuring it out that I don't know what I'm talking about, but he'll see I do. I'm speaking to him because I'll be the topic subject again in the morning. However, Pine Bluff can ill afford to govern businesses that want to come in here. One of the reasons is that every store that comes in pays taxes to the City of Pine Bluff. Another reason is that stores, et cetera, is for the people. They're usually convenient to the people that shop. When I go to the store, it makes no difference where it is. If I'm looking for something in the Dollar Tree, then I go there. If it's not there, then I go to the next Dollar Tree. When I'm looking for something in Dollar General, if it's not there, I go to the next Dollar General. Likewise with the family dollar store. So those stores set a stage for convenience for people, if that's what they want to do. When we go and say that you can't bring stores in or you can't do this in a town that's probably dying from the lack of services, the lack of businesses and being in the right places, then that says that I'm not going to even think about going to Pine Bluff because they got too many rules and regulations. What we really have to look at here, and that is, those stores serve as a convenience. Those stores do not deter big grocery stores or big businesses to come in. Stores want to be in a collage area. They want to be where the other businesses. Competitions make good business, but it also serves as a security for the business itself. When you put a business long in a corner by itself, it sets itself up for robbery, for thievery, or whatever you want to call it, burglary or whatever. But sometimes when they're in a group area, that's less of a possibility of happening. So I was in Little Rock the other day and I saw, and I'm gonna miss this, I know, but I did see Burlington's, I think TJ Maxx or Ross's, and another big store that sells some of the same thing, but each store has its own products. So that simply means that we all can survive with whatever business we have. We may have a sale on this, so those businesses survive with that. But we also must really realize that it's a freedom of enterprise. That's key. So for the radio announcer, he's going to say, oh, Len Brown Sr. objects to everything. This is not a good ordinance. And not only is it not a good ordinance, As we speak right now, as we sit right now, there are possible 4 stores, dollar stores, etc., that's going to be closed. That's 50% off at least 4 stores. And one of those stores, of 2, is on Hardin. We can ill afford to come up with legislation that says you cannot open a business up in a town that need every piece of business they can get. How can we do that? Now, this is something that I want you to look at. So leave here before it gets dark tonight and drive down Hardin. It looks like a ghost town. I've been here all my life, unlike some people. That's over 50 years, I don't have to know the rest. But it used to be an entrance to come into Pine Bluff with service stations, restaurants, hotels. You could just get anything you want over there. And now if you drive down through there, you look around and you're like, where are we? It's a ghost town. For the life of me, I cannot figure out why, because it is a main artery into our city. It's a main artery, people. People coming here from all the time, and Grady and Gould and Dumas and various places. You should be able to, it was call-outs out there also. You should be able to get anything you want in that area. You can't. So why would we do a piece of legislation to say we're going to ban or give them another reason not to come to Pine Bluff, Arkansas? So, well, it's too much red tape to it. They don't want stores in there. Well, it's happening to us right now, and we're going to feel the effect. I can name at least 1 on Hardin. It's 4 going out, but at least 1 on Hardin and 1 on 16 in Cherry. They finna go. And we around here passing legislation that says you can't bring one here. That has nothing to do with us not having a grocery store. But we getting ready to make a desert out of Hardin Street, period. It already looks like somebody has come through there with a dozer and taken everything away. So people, I really want to say when I come here tonight, I said that this piece of legislation should be pulled. And in lieu of the fact that we're already losing grocery stores, we're already losing those stores, dollar stores. Why would we even come up with legislation that says we're going to ban them? They're leaving themselves. We didn't ask them to leave. They're leaving themselves. There's a reason for that. I don't know what it is, but I can tell you it's bad for Pine Bluff to govern a free enterprise world that says you can't open up a business. Thank you.
Councilmember Frazier.
I agree with one thing that City Council Member Brown Sr. said. You can go to Little Rock and other places and see Burlington and TJ Maxx and Ross's right next to each other or on the same block. But what you will not see is 2 or 3 Burlingtons on the same block, 2 or 3 TJ Maxx on the same block. You will not see that. And we're not saying that if someone decides that they want to open a Dollar Tree or a Family Dollar that they still can't go through the process. That's not what we're saying. We're saying right now we're trying to get a full-blown grocery store in an area that desperately needs it. And yes, Brown Sr. can go in his car to the other places, but there are some citizens that do not have transportation, that have to catch the bus or either don't have even the opportunity to even catch the bus because on my side of town, the bus don't even go there. So we're not saying that that cannot happen, but what we're saying is give us an opportunity to have a full-blown grocery store where we can have some healthy items that we can use in our house that we need. And so I don't know what else I can say in reference to that. I love Dollar Tree. I go in there just as much as anybody else, and Dollar General too. But I also know that we have to do right by our citizens on all wards. And we're talking about the Family Dollars leaving. Well, that's a prime example. You have all these Family Dollars and General Dollars and Dollar Trees popping up all over the city, and then next thing you know, all of them closing, and then you got empty buildings. So now we got a problem with the empty buildings and trying to fill that. So I just say to everyone here today to really think about the livelihood and the quality of life for our citizens here who actually need groceries, not a small portion. Yeah, you can go in the Dollar Tree and maybe get some things out of the freezer, but they're smaller in portion compared to what you can get in a full grocery store. And there's more options in a full grocery store. So I just hope that everybody makes the right decision. Again, like I said, we are not trying to tell someone that they can't put up. They still can, in this ordinance, they can still come before the legislative body here and still ask to have a Dollar Tree, a Dollar General, or a Family Dollar.
And I will add as well, thank you, Councilmember Frazier, thank you, Councilmember Brown. The reason behind the legislature is because we want to make sure and ensure that we are doing right by our citizens. We can continue to Band-Aid the needs of our citizens and community by offering Dollar Trees and dollar stores. And again, I'm another one who does not have a problem with the ones that we have here, but I do have a problem when they saturate our community and we do not have all the resources that we need to ensure that our community gets the proper access to healthy foods like they need. I also want to add that this ordinance, I don't know if it was read in its entirety, does not say that we are banning dollar stores or Dollar Trees. It's actually giving us some leeway to say, hey, can we have a conversation before you go and build another or open up a Dollar General, another Family Dollar or Dollar Tree in the area, so we can see how it can best fit the needs of our citizens in those particular communities. Also, I have worked with legal. I've also worked with our planning commission with Mr. Larry Reynolds, and we added an amendment in there. Again, I'm not sure if it was read in its entirety, but if you go into the ordinance, you will see that it outlines what a small box store is. And I know Mr. Finley has spoke on his toy store. If you read in the amendment, it outlines what we're identifying when it comes to a small box store. And I will read that. In variety of such goods such as food and beverages for off-premises consumption, household products, personal grooming and health products, and other consumer goods with less than 15% of shelf life or space allocated to fresh produce and fresh frozen produce. So again, we're outlining the particular stores that we're looking at. So we're not saying, okay, a toy store can't come here or a Hibbett stores can't come here. We're saying specifically when it comes to stores like the Dollar Trees and Dollar Generals, what that looks like for our community. And again, for those who don't know, those stores have a total of 35,000 stores, more than McDonald's and Starbucks all over the United States of America. They thrive in communities like ours. You don't see them in other communities that are thriving because guess what? They're not welcoming those communities like that. They're welcome here because that's what they feel like. They target low-income communities, those that are marginalized, and those are in neighborhoods of color, and those are facts.
Yes. Can I respond? Thank you.
Councilman Brown.
Well, it's very difficult to say everything that I want to say in this short period of time. However, I'll try to cut it short. The first thing I want to say to the public and the people that are listening, and that is, so the initial thought of these small box stores is because it's a grocery store. But that grocery store survived for years and years and years and years and years and years under 3 or 4 different names: Safeway, Brookshire's, a couple more names. What was it?
Harvest Foods.
Harvest Food. It survived with those stores there, one way or the other. You have to be reminded to yourself, if you don't know, then you will find out right now, that they went out of business because their reason was staffing. It has nothing to do with not making money. It says staffing. And if you understand what staffing is, like I do, staffing says that it's to your employees, your workers, the people that you can get to put in places. I don't understand that because they have 3 other stores. If somebody didn't show up for work over here, then you call other stores and say, can you send John or Judy over here to work with us today? And if that's not good enough, we have a UAPB young students that are on a business trail to be good peoples in life. Also CR that are being trained to be good business people. Hey, we go to CR We go to UAPB and get somebody working. It's something wrong when you have a drugstore, you have a deli and a bakery that's making money, and you have a body of groceries, meats, canned goods, and you go out of business, we gotta shut up. I only found out about 2 weeks before they shut out, one of the managers at the other store called and said, you know, they finna close. I said, what? So I called Texas. I talked to 3 or 4 managers in the higher departments, and they said the deal had been done and it was shutting down. Nothing we could do. I didn't call as an alderman, I called as a personal citizen. Let me tell you that, because I think that it's probably irresponsible for aldermen to try to bring in big businesses like that, because sometimes they could think it's a FOI situation where they're not in the room, which is why you're making the deal with them to come here, and then at the same time, we don't know. I think when Walmart came, they had to hit some peoples on the wrist about the FOI, because they was in the room with Walmart when they was trying to make a deal to come into the city. However, let me say this, and finishing up real good. She mentioned, Councilmember Frazier mentioned that she had seen those stores in Little Rock and various other places on the same block and in the same shopping centers. Wow, how I would love to have a Burlington, how I love the TJ Maxx and a Ross, and for that matter, one of the largest stores in New York. What is that store? However, you know what, Macy's. I would love to have that, but Pine Bluff doesn't have that. We don't have the people that probably could support those kinds of stores. We couldn't even support a JCPenney's for that matter, and Dillard's helped us out a lot by sneaking around. What I'm trying to say is we have to make good use of what we have. If the dollar stores is what Pine Bluff can produce, we have to use the dollar stores. Thank God for the dollar stores. It has nothing to do with groceries, nothing. But thank God for those dollar stores. And all of you the same way I am. If you go to a dollar store and you know they usually carry this, you go to the next dollar store because you know the next one ought to have it. It is so good to be able to shop like that. What I'm actually mad at is some of the other things. I'm upset that we don't have the restaurants that Little Rock have. I'm upset that we don't have the
Councilman Brown.
Yes, sir. But I would appreciate, I'm finna make it short, but I also appreciate that, and I've said that in the past, that any time that you give an alderman or a state representative or a congressman to speak, you give him the privilege to speak, he can speak until he's finished, as long as he's not being redundant. And I think the things that I'm saying is very important to the public. And I think they need to understand that we are being misled about a lot of things. So I just want to make sure that we know that, to me, this is legislation that's, I did this legislation. It has no meaning. It hurts Pine Bluff. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Mays.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Alderman. I'm going to vote against this as well because no offense, but we have to be more business friendly in Pine Bluff. We got to open the city up. We want to control too much in Pine Bluff. The city council does not try to control everything. You know, you got people from the outside who tries to control the government, the city government in Pine Bluff. You know, you can't do that. People have an option to go where they want to go. I mean, that's just a good business practice. And we have to do that for our citizens. Some of them don't want to go way across town to get some oranges and apples. Some do. And we have to respect the citizens. Some of them can't even drive across town because of illness and things like that they had all their life. But if we think about our citizens first, that's what I do. I put myself in front of the citizens. So when they call me, I want to answer. Alderman Mays, why is this? Why is that? I mean, y'all need to have some kind of public meeting and talk to all the citizens before make decisions. I can't make decisions for everybody. That's why we can have a public forum and let our citizens do this. Our citizens not playing. Let me tell you something. They watching everything we do, and they coming at us now. They constantly voting people off. They not gonna say nothing, but they'll say that at the ballot box. I'm a 4-term alderman. I take care of my people. I talk to them. I listen. All right. Thank you.
Councilman Brown Jr.
Yes, so we did pass a moratorium, was what, 180-day moratorium on small box stores a while back, and I voted for it. But I feel like at this time, if that moratorium time is gone, then, I think that we should allow whatever business wants to come to Pine Bluff, let them come. And like Councilmember Brown Sr. said, we're losing at least four stores right now, and so I don't think it's good practice for us to limit businesses that want to open in Pine Bluff. So I can't support this ordinance at this time.
Attorney Scott.
On section 5. We need to insert, this ordinance takes effect May 1st, 2024. That was
Section 5.
Section 5.
Yes, Attorney Scott, can you define small box discount stores for everyone?
Okay.
Can you give that definition?
It's on the second page. Is it on the second page? Let's see. No, it's on the second page, A. And it says small box discount store is a business that conducts retail sales of convenience goods or retail sales of consumer shopping goods, and that offers for sale a combination and variety of such goods, such as food or beverages for off-premises consumption, household products, personal grooming and health products, and other consumer goods, with less than 15% of shelf space allocated to fresh products and fresh frozen produce, and that has a floor area of less than 12,000 square feet and continuously offers a majority of items in the inventory for sale at a price of less than $10 per item, and which does not contain a prescription pharmacy or offers for sale gasoline or diesel fuel.
May I speak? I read all that, and I was like, really? Y'all need to read that. We're making decisions for you all, but you need to read this for yourself. I highlighted all that, and I was like, really?
But that's not targeting the dollar stores. That's targeting small box discount stores. And this is in the effort to bring a grocery store to
Can you
these
tell me
houses.
what do you mean by small box, that you're not talking about the dollar stores and the Dollar Trees? What are you talking about?
Let me explain this to you. If you watch the news today, over 1,000 dollar stores closed across the country, not just in Pine Bluff.
Listen to yourself. You trying to come up with legislation that says you don't want it in here, and they're closing them. So what are we doing? Can we just let time take care of itself? If they close them, leave it alone.
And what we don't.
Don't make a law, because that law says to every other free enterprise people that want to come into our city, that says something to their brain. Says, I'm not going into Pine Bluff and open up nothing. I'm going to Whitehall, I'm going to go to Grady or Dumas or somewhere else. Let's see it just like it is. You're saying what I'm saying, that we shouldn't put a mandate on not having those stores.
Do you see those small box discount stores in those other cities?
Say that again?
The same cities you just named?
I missed the first part of your question.
Do you see those small discount stores in those cities you just named?
Well, each one of those stores now have, they have dollar store. Altamont has a dollar store.
Small box discount stores, those cities you just named, do you see those stores in those cities?
Yes, all of them got Dumas and all of them got those stores.
You see.
But not piled on top of each other.
But you were
Pine
giving
Bluff is big.
reference to Ross and Burlington and all of that. Did you see the dollar stores in that area?
But they have the big stores that want to be there. The big stores don't want to be in Pine Bluff, so let's take advantage of what we can get.
Well, I'm not gonna settle for crumbs just because that's what we can get. That's why we are in the situation that we're in now, because that's what we can get. We're more than just what we can get.
And I don't, the suggestion that we will not support those stores like TJ Maxx and Burlington or all those stores like that if they came to Pine Bluff, who do you think is going to Little Rock and going to those places to shop in those centers? We're leaving here, going there. We need those stores here. So we can't just settle for what anybody else want to give us, and we don't have a fighting chance if we don't make it feasible for those stores to come into our city.
Not being disrupted, Mr. Mayor, but if I may, I want to engage since we're talking. I'm over, well, my ward is Ward 3, and there are more dollar stores in Ward 3 than any other ward in the city of Pine Bluff. And within that ward, there are 2 large grocery stores. One on the corner of Camden Road and 28, one on the corner of 28th and Hazel. Those stores do not have anything to do with the big grocery store. We're connecting apples and oranges, or we're connecting, I guess, pine cones and fruit, because they don't relate. It is good that Pine Bluff can have such thing, convenience as a dollar store. When I was growing up, that's where my tennis shoes come from, the Kent's Dollar Store.
Yes,
So,
sir.
Well, you're saying it don't.
so,
Let's just call for the vote.
Yeah, do that.
no, wait just a minute,
Because
sir.
it
Wait just a
does-
minute, Mayor. Wait just a minute, Acting Mayor. I just made that statement a second ago, and that is that when you got the flow to be able to speak, you should be able to finish what you got to say. And then we can end. It's not polite to say,
Well, I'm not trying to cut you off, but
but you are, though, and I don't want to, I don't mean to go there with you, because I think things ought to be in order, and I think that
Well,
whenever.
we're gonna do this in decency and in order, and let's call for the vote. Thank you, Councilman Brown Senior. All those in favor of this ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
Aye. Those that oppose,
No.
can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Mays,
No.
Councilmember Holcomb Jr.,
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.,
No.
Councilmember Lockett, Councilmember Brown Sr.,
No.
Councilmember Shainer,
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier,
Aye.
Councilmember Brunson.
Aye.
Move it. 4-4. Okay, 4-4. So,
With the absent of Lockett, so that's not,
You have to have
Yes, a vote.
the majority of the governing body, so it fails.
it died.
We didn't hear you.
You have to have a majority of the governing body. The governing body is 8, so the majority will be 5.
6 or 5?
5.
Okay.
Agenda item number 2, an ordinance amending ordinance number 6711 regarding the process for the use of speed humps and for related purposes, up for the first reading.
So, excuse me, what happened?
City attorney informed us that we had the majority of the body,
Right,
so it was 4-4.
right.
So it did not pass, it did not fail.
Let the people know what happened, because they don't know.
Councilmember May, you the only person that didn't know what happened.
It didn't, they passed.
Councilmember May, we gonna move on. You the only person that know what
I just
happened.
want people to know what happened.
You the only one that didn't know what happened.
I just want to know.
All right. Whereas in ordinance number 6711, the council approved a process for the use of street humps to reduce vehicle speed on city streets. And whereas it is desired to amend certain provisions of ordinance number 6711 to better achieve the objectives and purposes of the ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Section 1, on page 2 of ordinance number 6711, in the part containing definitions, add the following 2 definitions definitions in correct alphabetical order. Abandoned property. An abandoned property is a lot of land which contains man-made improvements which, one, have been continuously unoccupied for the preceding 365 days, or two, have been significantly damaged by fire, wind, or other natural or man-made causes within the previous 90 days, are unoccupied, and for which no permit to repair has been obtained or requested. Also, vacant property is a lot of land which does not contain any man-made improvements. Section 2. Section 2 of ordinance number 6711 is amended to change paragraph 1 to state the following. Number 1, delivery to the city clerk a petition signed by not less than 51% of the owners or occupants of a certain combination thereof from the affected area where the proposed speed hump is to be installed. The petition shall contain the following information: a description of the street segment, either by listing the addresses or address range for residents of the affected area, or a description of the starting point and stopping point of the street segment. Section 3, all ordinances or parts thereof in conflict with this ordinance are repealed to the extent of the conflict. Section 4, the phrases, sentences, paragraphs, and sections of this ordinance are declared to be severable, and should any of the foregoing be found unlawful by a court of law, the remaining shall continue to be enforced. Section 5, this ordinance being of a general or permanent nature, the clerk shall ensure it's published in compliance with Arkansas law. Section 6, this ordinance takes effect on the 31st day after its adoption.
Move to suspend the rules and place this ordinance on its second reading.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that this ordinance be placed on its second reading. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Mays. Aye. Councilmember Holcomb Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett. Councilmember Brown Sr.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaner. Aye. Councilmember Frazier.
Aye.
Councilmember Brunson. Aye.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 6711 regarding the process for the use of speed humps and for related purposes.
Move to suspend the rules and place this ordinance on its third and final reading.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that this ordinance be placed on its third and final reading. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Mays. Aye. Councilmember Holcomb Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett. Councilmember Brown Sr.
Aye.
Councilmember Shaner.
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier.
Aye.
And Councilmember Brunson.
Aye.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 6711 regarding the process for the use of speed humps and for related purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. All those in favor of this?
Question?
Yes, sir, Councilman Brown Sr.
Did I get permission?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So I think speed bumps are very needed, or humps. Bumps and humps, it's all the same. They're very needed in parks and in neighborhoods and maybe small corners of a certain area. But I know that we probably are not going to put speed bumps on main straightaways where people drive and get from one place to the next, because if we do that, then it would take us as long as it takes the people to get from New York to Albany or somewhat. It would take us from there, but I'm talking about New York City to Albany. So I think that we need the speed bumps to deter or to slow down speeding because of little children, older people, bicycle riders, joggers or walkers. And it's just difficult when those people are trying to do that and people are speeding up and down the highways. But I cannot go into what I really want to go into because it's like I would be more or less moving my authority somewhere else. But I will say, if they got more warning tickets, it'll probably slow down a lot of people. Thank you.
Just so that the citizens will know, The reason why we're bringing this before you today is because we have a couple of citizens that have come before us, and even in the past, and we had on the record that they had to get 70% of the people on their block to sign saying that it was okay for them to put the speed hump on the block, but some of those properties were vacant, some of those properties, no one there, abandoned properties, so it was difficult for them to even follow the procedure that we put in place. So we came together and we decided that we would put some language in there that says that they do not have to get the signature of any abandoned property or vacant property. And instead of 70%, it will be 51%. And Brown Senior is right. The reason why we're doing that because there's a lot of people that's really are speeding and can hurt someone, but it's on a case-by-case basis that it comes before us. So right now we have 2 people who are looking to do that. So we want to make sure that we do what we can to help our citizens. Thank you.
And let me say this, this is a good ordinance. I mean, I put in forward probably about 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, and for some reason, it didn't go, it went through, but some people blocked it, not up here. But I'm saying is that I like it, I support it. You got to follow up on it though. You have some people in the city that don't want this to happen. I'm not saying you all, I'm just saying, when is the target date we're looking at? Because watch it and you won't see it. A lot of things we're voting on in Pine Bluff, the town looks bad. You all agree? But some of this that we're voting on is not going through, it's being held up.
Councilman Mays. I think one of the reasons why, as Councilmember Frazier was just saying, is that the rules for, or the process for getting these speed humps was it was too extensive for most people to go through, because you had to get 70 to 75% of the people in the neighborhood to fill out a petition for it. And if there were vacant or abandoned houses, or you couldn't contact certain property owners, they weren't able to meet that threshold. And so now this actually makes it easier for a person to get a speed hump inside of their neighborhood if the processes allow it.
Right, and it still goes before the committee, the Traffic and Aviation Committee, and it still comes before the full council. So it's not something that we're not negating any of the steps that we used to take.
So all I'm saying, excuse me, all I'm saying is just write it down today and see how long it takes. You have people on the outside of this thing try to hold up stuff.
So this is already on the book, we're just amending what's already on the book.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Exactly.
All right,
Making it
now
a little
just-
less stressful for our citizens.
To make it easier for them to.
I understand, but just watch how long it takes. I'm like this, push it on by and get it done. But I'm just saying, I'm gonna vote for it, you know. Go ahead.
Any further discussion?
No, sir.
All those in favor of this ordinance, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose, so moved.
Agenda item number 3, we have an ordinance permitting Michael Boykin doing business as Red Extinguishers to do business with the city of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, up for the first reading.
Whereas Michael Boykin is employed as a firefighter in the city's Fire and Emergency Services Department. And whereas Mr. Boykin has a personal business, Red Extinguishers, which engages in the servicing of fire extinguishers and work related thereto. And whereas Mr. Boykin, doing business as Red Extinguishers, seeks to be eligible to do business when the city has a need for services which his firm has the qualifications and capability to perform the desired work under the same conditions as other firms which service fire extinguishers. And whereas ACA 1442-107 requires the governing body pass an ordinance prescribing the conditions under which an employee may do business with the city. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Section 1, in accordance with ACA 1442-107B, 1, Michael Boykin, doing business as Red Extinguishers in his individual capacity as an independent contractor, will be eligible to do business with the City of Pine Bluff for work concerning the servicing of fire extinguishers and matters related thereto, so long as his engagement to perform such work is in accordance with applicable procurement rules. Performance of this service must be accomplished in accordance with all local, state, and federal regulations which govern other businesses engaging in the same or like services. Section 2, this ordinance not being of a general or permanent nature, it need not be published and shall take effect upon its adoption.
Place it on the calendar. Next agenda item is agenda item 3A. It's an ordinance authorizing the issuance of an Amendment 78 debt instrument in favor of U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance, Inc. for acquisition of a fire truck and associated apparatus and for related purposes, up for the first reading.
Whereas the fire department is in great need of a new fire truck and associated equipment and apparatus for firefighting and public safety, and whereas the price of the truck and apparatus requires that the acquisition be financed on an installment basis, and whereas the city published a public advertisement seeking proposals from interested financial establishments to finance the acquisition of the fire truck and apparatus on an installment basis. And whereas U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance Incorporated has submitted the most advantageous and responsible proposal to the city for the city's acquisition of the truck and apparatus on an installment basis. And whereas Arkansas law prescribes the limited circumstances under which a municipality may incur installment debt, most particularly in Amendment 78 to the Arkansas Constitution and its implementing code provision, ACA 1478-101 and following. And whereas a debt instrument in compliance with Amendment 78 should be executed between the city and U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance Incorporated for the purpose of acquiring a fire truck and associated apparatus for the city's fire department to be financed via annual installment payments over a period not to exceed 60 months. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Section 1, there is hereby authorized the issuance of an installment debt instrument in accordance with Amendment 78 of the Arkansas Constitution and ACA 1478-101 and following in favor of U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Financing Incorporated with the principal terms described in Section 2. Section 2, the debt instrument shall be in the amount of $1,728,141.44, inclusive of principal and interest, and payable in 5 annual installments of $395,678.07 each, beginning March 5th, 2025, or as soon thereafter as agreed, and payable in like amount and on the same day of succeeding years until paid in full. In no event shall the debt instrument exceed 60 months in duration, and it shall have terms and conditions otherwise consistent with the attached 3-page proposal of U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance Incorporated. Section 3, the mayor is authorized to sign and the city clerk attest all the necessary documents to accomplish the transaction in toto, which constitute Amendment 78 debt instrument, and there should be stated thereon a declaration that the debt instrument is issued pursuant to Amendment 78 of the Arkansas Constitution. Section 4, an ordinance or any part of this ordinance in conflict with the provisions of this ordinance are repealed to the extent of the conflict. Section 5, this ordinance is not of a general or permanent nature and need not be published. Section 6, this ordinance shall take effect upon its approval and passage.
Move to suspend the rules and place this ordinance on its second reading.
Second.
It has been properly moved and second that this ordinance be placed on its second reading. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Mays?
Aye.
Councilmember Holcomb Jr.?
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.?
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett? Councilmember Brown Sr.?
Aye.
Councilmember Shaner?
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier?
Aye.
Councilmember Brunson?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of an Amendment 8 debt instrument in favor of U.S. Bancorp Government Leasing and Finance Incorporated for acquisition of a fire truck and associated apparatus and for related purposes.
Move to suspend the rules and place this ordinance on its third and final reading.
It has been properly moved and second that this ordinance be placed on its third and final reading.
Councilmember Mays?
Aye.
Councilmember Holcomb? Jr.,
Aye.
Councilmember Brown Jr.,
Aye.
Councilmember Lockett, Councilmember Brown Senior,
Aye.
Councilmember Shaner,
Aye.
Councilmember Frazier,
Aye.
and Councilmember Brunson.
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of an Amendment 78 debt instrument in favor of U.S. Bank Corp. Government Leasing and Finance Incorporated for acquisition of a fire truck and associated apparatus for related purposes.
Move for adoption.
Second.
Is there any questions?
Yes, sir.
Councilmember Brown Senior?
Yes. I see you got a second. I didn't know we was asking for it.
Okay, are there any questions or discussions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those that oppose? So moved.
Agenda item number 4. Oh, do we need to do anything else with that?
Emergency?
There's no emergency clause.
Is no one?
Okay. All right. All right, agenda item number 4, we have a resolution providing for placement of cost of correcting certain nuisances on tax books as delinquent taxes and collected as such.
Whereas ACA
Move for adoption.
Second.
Do we have to remove this off of there?
We'll do it in discussion.
Okay.
It's been properly moved in second that a resolution providing for placement of costs of correcting certain nuisances on tax books as delinquent taxes and collected as such. Is there any discussion or questions?
We have a memorandum here to remove this following lien from the resolution, and this is page 2, lines 19 through 21. I move we amend the resolution to remove that.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second that we remove on page 2, number 19. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose? So moved.
Move to adopt the resolution as amended.
Second.
It's been properly moved to adopt the resolution as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those that oppose? So moved.
Agenda item number 5, we have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Vaughn and Sons Lawn Service for commercial landscape maintenance of the first phase of downtown streetscape project.
Whereas after public advertisement and solicitation for bids from interested vendors to perform work for commercial landscape maintenance concerning the first phase of the downtown streetscape project, the firm of Bond and Sons Lawn Service submitted the lowest, most responsible bid. And whereas an agreement should be executed with this vendor to perform the work. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, that the mayor is authorized to execute a contract with Vaughn and Sons Lawn Service to perform commercial landscape maintenance concerning the first phase of the downtown streetscape project for consideration of $65,000 and for the terms and conditions set forth in the city solicitation, the vendor submission, and otherwise standard in the field for work of this nature.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It has been properly moved in second, a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Vaughn and Son Lawn Service for commercial landscape maintenance on the first phase of the downtown streetscape project. Is there any question or discussion?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown Senior.
Thank you, sir. This may not have anything to do with it, but it may be a good time for me to ask this question. And that is, during the campaigning for the vote for primary, there were 2 waste baskets that sits on the, somewhere on the properties that you can't move, and they were over flooded and dumping. Who's responsible for that?
You're talking about on Third and?
Now, it's in front of the courthouse and right across the street from the courthouse. I don't know who's responsible for that. Would that be a part of a group like this, or the city, or who's responsible? Because the cement to the ground and cannot be moved.
But all those run together. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, I don't know. I just thought this might be a good time to ask that question since we're talking about something that happened with.
Mr. Matthew, you mind answering that question for us? Good afternoon.
In the past, Park and Rec has been responsible for taking care of all of the garbage disposal in the trash cans. I'm not sure if that's still the understanding, but they have taken care of it in the past. Most of the time, if you have a complaint and one is filled, typically if you call my office or call the mayor's office, we'll make sure that they are taken care of. But in the past, Park and Rec has been responsible.
Okay, because they was busy, it was full, and everybody was asking me like I was supposed to know, and I really didn't know.
Well, you can always call me out.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Matthews, I had one question.
Yes.
And so looking at the bids received, so we had two different vendors here, and
Yes.
one was 25.5, other one 65.
Yes.
So was the scope of work different?
In the bid packet, your resume or your past performance streetscape is a beast to do on landscaping. So you had to show the qualifications that you could undertake this project. Last year, we spent in excess of $65,000 to keep the upkeep up. So we wanted to eliminate that. We had 2 landscapers down there doing work all at the same time. So in the bid packet, if you notice on that sheet, that we did say that experience and your capacity to do the job would weigh a whole lot on it. And after the review committee looked at it, we felt it would be best, rather than go back and still have to add more money, that we'll take the $65,000. And he showed that he had more capability than the other individual to do it. So that was the recommendation that we made, that we go with this contract.
That's on this right here, right?
Yes.
So tell me something, is this a one-time, once-a-year payment?
No, sir, it's done monthly. It'll go all the way to the end of the year.
For $65,000?
Yes, sir.
So it's done monthly?
Yes.
All right.
Do they need to get that, what's up the money?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work for, 8 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Especially during the growing season.
Right.
It can get out of hand, and it got out of hand last year. And we're trying to avoid it getting out of hand this year. Yes.
So that's strictly, is this strictly on Main? Does it cover any branches off?
It covers all the first phase, up Barracue, down Pine, down State Street. Everything that we put in first phase, it covers all that, from pruning the trees to the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
Yes.
But so they're not responsible for cutting any of the excess grass along maybe Second or, somewhere on that first block?
It's just dealing with streetscape. Walnut will be included. When you come off the expressway, Walnut, up Barracue, all the way down the State, from the courthouse, all the way down to 4th Street. Anything on those right-of-ways will be done.
So while we got you here, so likewise for every month, will we start all over again next year, or what will we do?
Well, we were hoping that we will bring it back to the council. If it works out, we can make this a 2-year contract, but we want to see the performance before we recommendation back to the council.
So right now, it's a 1-year contract?
1-year contract.
Okay, because I'm going to be looking at it very closely. Who had it last year?
Last year, the first individual, he had it. Landscape Properties, I believe, he had it. And it's an undertaking. You have to have the capacity to do it.
I know, I saw that, and what we need to do is watch this here real close. Because if we're gonna start cleaning downtown up, start on the bottom in the grass and the dirt first.
Yes.
That's what we need to start doing. And we need to watch this very closely, because we have people getting these contracts and they have doing the job, some of them.
Well, that was one of the reasons in the review that we know the individual who asked and awarded the contract has the capacity to do the project.
So they gotta come back to get it set it up again if they wanna do it again next year.
Yes, sir, unless we come back with a recommendation that we extend the contract for next year.
That's from the council, though.
Yes, it has to come from the council.
Yeah, let's make sure we do that, because we don't want nobody just half cutting the grass. It already looks bad.
I understand. Yes, sir.
Are there any more questions? You have anything else, Mr. Manager?
No, sir. I know the next, to keep me from coming up, the next resolution is based on the same.
So if you don't mind staying up here?
Oh, no, sir.
And I know I probably missed it, but this is not a lump sum payment, it's payments.
Every month. We be billed out monthly for the whole year.
Okay.
Okay, any more discussion on resolution number 5? All those in favor of this resolution, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those that oppose? So moved.
Agenda item number 6, we have a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Rich Brothers Services for grass cutting and maintenance on the Martha Mitchell Expressway.
Whereas after public advertisement and solicitation for bids from interested vendors to perform work cutting and maintaining the growth of grass along the Martha Mitchell Expressway, the firm of Rich Brothers Services submitted the lowest, most responsible bid. And whereas an agreement should be executed with this vendor to perform the work. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, that the mayor is authorized to execute a contract with Rich Brothers Services to perform grass cutting and maintenance of grass growth and related work on the Martha Mitchell Expressway for a consideration of $72,000 and for the terms and conditions set forth in the city's solicitation, the vendor submission, and otherwise standard in the field for work of this nature.
Move for adoption.
Second.
It's been properly moved in second that a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Rich Brothers Services for grass cutting and maintenance on the Martha Mitchell Expressway. Are there any questions or discussions?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Let me get Councilman
Okay,
Fraser.
very good. I was going to.
I just wanted to note, on the last one, we were given work experience or so we could see what
Yes.
kind of work they've done. How come we don't have it on this one?
It is in the proposal. If, I don't know if you had a chance to read it. It was also reviewed. I'm not sure if Joe included it or not,
It
but
just- no, it wasn't
it was the
included.
same, it was based on the same premises that
Okay.
you had to review and you had to have experience. A little different on this one. We're just talking simple grass cutting. All 3 of the contractors are qualified. They have done work with the city. Just so happened that the one we're recommending was the lowest bid.
Okay.
All of them qualified.
Okay.
Richard Brothers has demonstrated that he can perform the job. He's done work with the city, so we recommended the lowest bid on this one.
Okay.
He is here tonight.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sure he's happy.
Is he here?
Yes,
Y'all want
sir.
to talk to him? Okay. No. Hey, no, him.
Yeah, all 3 of them are very capable of doing the
Very
job.
good. Let me say this, thank you. My thought left me, but, so, do we not get any money from the grant from the state to cut that grass, or we just pay it straight out of the city of Cofer?
In this particular case, it's always been an eyesore because the state only cuts 3 times a year.
Okay, okay.
And grass growing in Pine Bluff is,
Constant.
you have to cut it more than 3 times a year. You have to cut it monthly.
So we gonna pick up what the state doesn't cut up?
Exactly.
No, they're on an on-call basis. We'll call them. They have the contract. The state may come in and cut next month, and then the grass grow up 3 weeks later. It's ready to cut again.
Very good. I'm
Yes.
glad I understand that because I'm wondering about that.
Yeah.
So it's not a certain cycle, it's just dependent on weather conditions.
Yes, and we never know when the state is coming. They're not on a particular date. They're coming in March. They come when it's at their convenience. What we do, we allow the contractor on on-call, we'll let them know when to come cut the grass, and it doesn't get to be an eyesore. Looks real bad after grass grow tall and then you cut it, it looks tough. So if we can do it on a monthly basis, we kind of keep it down where it looks. And this is all the way from where the casino intersection is, all the way to Bryant Street. That's a lot of grass.
Oh, that's a lot of grass.
Let me ask
That's
you
a lot
a
of
question too. So what if we have Rich Brothers to cut on Monday and the state decides to cut Wednesday?
Well, the state probably won't cut.
So
If they come to see us cut, they probably won't cut.
So they probably just won't cut at all if we.
They may not.
Okay.
But it didn't work out the reverse way.
Will we be in communication with them?
Yes, we have to get permits from them. So we usually have communication with local district.
And then my question is, the state contracting out their cut services as well?
I'm sorry.
Does the state contract out their service, or do they use?
Yeah, they outsource theirs. They have a 5-year contract.
So I guess my question is that why couldn't they compensate us for maintaining those highways instead of?
that is going to be negotiable. The mayor brought that up. We need to, whatever that contract is, to take it away from that contractor and give those funds to us.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So this is my second year doing this, so it's still kind of new, but that is in upcoming conversation with the highway department.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions or discussion? All those in favor of this resolution, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those that oppose, so moved.
That concludes the agenda for this evening.
You got an announcement? You can do the announcement?
Oh, yeah, I just,
Oh, for him. And when there's some announcements, you want to
Yeah. We have a motion to adjourn.
Getting there.
no, we didn't adjourn, we just,
announcements?
oh, he has them down there.
We still adjourned.
We'll do the announcements.
It's not time yet.
No, we'll do the announcements and then we'll adjourn and then, yeah. You want to go ahead and adjourn? All right, move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, our meeting is adjourned. We do have some announcements. We want to ask you to please keep Councilmember Bruce Lockett in your thoughts and prayers in the loss of his father, Roosevelt Herring. We extend our deepest condolences to his entire family. The funeral service are scheduled for Saturday, March 23rd at 10 a.m. at the New Community Baptist Church here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. That is Saturday, March 23rd, 10 a.m. at New Community Baptist Church here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. The GVI University is successfully underway. This educational meeting is a one-day work session scheduled for Monday, March 25th from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the Pine Bluff Convention Center to educate key city partners and stakeholders, including law enforcement, social service providers, and community leaders on the key components of the group violence intervention. The public is invited to attend. Join us for fun activities for the kids such as egg hunt, dog parade, food trucks, and much more at the first Pine Bluff Animal Control Adoptable Dog Parade and Easter Egg Hunt. This is scheduled on Saturday, March 30th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This event is free for everyone, and donation of unopened pet food and other pet items are welcome. I want to keep everyone in mind that the 2024 runoff election will be held Tuesday, April the 2nd for the mayoral race and the Ward 3 position. And another announcement, the 2024 Mental Health and Wellness Conference presented by
La Renee
I want to
Ministries.
make sure I said that right.
That's right.
La Renee Ministries Incorporated in partnership with the Project Live and Delta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated will be held May 18th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. located at the Hurricane Hype Center on 3319 South Ohio Street. Lunch and door prizes will be available. To pre-register and more information, call Councilmember Lynette Frazier at 870-575-3619. And our last announcement for tonight, the Pine Bluff Downtown Streetscape Phase 2, construction to begin in April. The City of Pine Bluff announces the start of the next phase of the Downtown Streetscape project aimed at upgrading key infrastructure downtown. The project will include improvements to lighting, sidewalks, drainage, curb, and gutter, landscaping, and other streetscape elements along Main Street between 4th Avenue to 8th Avenue. A public meeting for property owners and the general public is scheduled for Thursday, April 4th at 5:30 p.m. at the Pine Bluff Jefferson County Library. This meeting will provide an opportunity for citizens and business owners in the construction area to ask questions and understand the construction schedule and traffic control plan for the project. Construction is projected to begin during the month of April, sometime after the public meeting, and is expected to be completed before the end of the year. That concludes our announcements. We have 2 speakers speaking on non-agenda items. How many minutes do we have?
3.
You have 3 each. Our first speaker is Mr. LaRon Tidwell, speaking on
He was just in, I think he was.
neighbor issues. Mr. LaRon Tidwell. Okay. Mr. Julius Lever.
Good evening, City Council,
Law.
Good evening.
City Clerk, and City Attorney. Councilman Lord Holcomb, in 2015, you proposed an ordinance that would fine every homeowner $1,000 and put them in jail if they did not fix or have their homes repaired. Glenn Brown said, are you trying to tell me you want to put 65-year-old women in jail for not fixing up their houses? Alderman Thelma Walker stood her ground, and then you said, I want the ordinance, I wrote the ordinance to affect downtown buildings. That's why I intended it. But it was on there, and you and the city council was prepared to vote on it until Thelma Walker and Glenn Brown spoke up. I just want to ask the question, do you think it was right to propose such an ordinance without giving any citizen the right to appeal that decision? And if you don't mind, sir, I'd like to stop my speaking just to give you a moment to answer the question. I will continue.
Did you just say?
I'll repeat. In 2015, I said this before, but I didn't say nothing.
Now you said I proposed an ordinance to...
You had an ordinance ready to be voted on that said that any person that owned a home...
That is not correct.
That is, well, I cannot prove it because I don't have an ordinance before me.
If you can't prove it, you don't need to state it.
I reserve the right to bring it to bring that bill up to you next time.
Let me help you.
Yes, sir.
Because if you can't prove nothing...
No, I can prove it. I can prove it. I can prove it. I mentioned to you before, Glenn Brown, you are the one that said, are you telling me you want to put 65-year-old women in jail because they can't fix up the house? You came back and said, I really intended the bill to be for downtown properties. It never passed for the women or the people, but it passed for the buildings, and no building was repaired and nobody was put in jail. So it seems like to me, someone wanted it on the books to put that much pressure on senior citizens or the people without an appeal. Now that's the point I'm making. A man tore down my property, my religious property, my business property, my personal property, and I told y'all over and over again that it's religious property. They're doing it unreasonably because it had never been passed by the city council. No one stopped it. The city attorney, Ms. Hatcher, not Ms. Scott, remember, I'm going to tell you this real quickly. They always hire attorneys to come in town to do the dirty work. That's what somebody at Salvation Army told me. They said, Julius, you too nice to people. A woman told me that. She said, they hired me and my friend to come in here and do the dirty work, which means put these people out, don't feed them as much as you do, treat them with disrespect, and they'll leave. Well, with you here being so nice to them, they don't want to leave. So I'm going to say the actual question, and I'm proposing this question to the city attorney, Athel Haddon Scott and Joe Childress. When a man comes to 1701 South Main and start destroying property, and then he goes to 1707.
That's your time, Mr. Lever.
Are you going to be so rude as to not to let the people hear the answer to my question? I'll ask you this. If I would have shot the man, and this is very important, If I would have shot the man that was destroying the property that never had no litigation.
Mr. Levy, that's your time. Every week, we tell you have.
Oh, yes, but you all passed the bill tonight with 3 readings, and then you let the people know that you're going to even vote on it. Twice you did it tonight. You all reserve the right to talk much as you want to, pass bills in one sitting, and the people that it affect never even know that you're going to vote. Now, how can you do that then, excuse me, and tell me I can't ask a question when my life was on the line? Do you not care about my life, Mr. Holcomb? Do y'all not care? A man with a tractor that has had a warrant for his arrest for the selling of cocaine, for the possession of marijuana, for the possession of methamphetamine, for the possession of hydrocodone, with the possession of K2 with intent to sell, and a gun by certain persons. And then he had a warrant, his arrest for a year. And while he had that warrant, he turned my property down and then go to another piece of property. And I called the city of police, and they come. At first, they won't even get out the car. Who stopped them from getting out the car, Mr. Holcomb? Who stopped them from getting out the car? Who told that man to continue on what you're doing? You're not going to get paid unless you do it. And he tore my property up on property was adjacent to it. How could that happen? I'm telling you now. You need to be careful, because I got a sign up saying Moses. What was Moses trying to do? Get people to leave. They already been leaving.
Mr. Levy.
Yes, sir.
You done talk 5 minutes.
But you ain't answer my question. No one answered my question. Does it matter that you answer a person's question when his life is on the line? A man with a gun, history of carrying a gun, and a tractor, and I'm standing in front of him saying, you can't trespass on this property. He said, they say you don't own it. I said, I bought it yesterday. I called the city, and then the woman on the street pulled up the street. She said, what they doing? She said, go get your warranty deed. I called her, I said, I got my warranty deed. The police came and looked at my warranty deed and still wouldn't talk to him. Now I'm asking you a question, Joe Childress. If I would have shot that man.
Mr. Levy, your time is up. You have talked.
But you don't care about my life, do you? That's the problem. Y'all don't care about nobody's life. Joe, that's what it looks like.
Your time is up.
Well, you have no right to tell me that. You're not the person.
Mr. Levy, your time is up. Will you please have a seat?
I thank you all for listening.
Will you please have a seat?
But my life is on the line. If I would have got killed, what would you do? Do nothing what you're doing now. Thank you.
I'm next, right?
Yes, sir, you're next. You have 3 minutes.
I'm 62 years old, disabled, on bed. I have an autistic son. I have a neighbor who moved there 2 months ago with a bear that he won't put on the chain. I have trained, AKA, registered Rottweilers, part of my income, service dog for him and myself. Got all my paperwork, my shots. This dude ain't got no. I got a video from your animal control. I want y'all to play this. They gonna give me a citation because I got my dog on the chain. My dog trained to tell you what up. So I have the neighbor who is safe at night. He got a bear climbing my fence, biting my fence.
You said a bear?
A bear like a...
Can Corsica, 200 plus
Talk
pounds.
to the mic a little bit more.
Well, yeah, because I didn't hear nothing from the beginning.
My neighbor just moved less than 2 months ago, has a Can Corsica, 200 some pounds. This is a video from your animal control, came out there. When I got out of service at night, they took 3 of my dogs. I followed your city protocol just like I'm doing now. They threatened to give me a citation because my dog is on the chain. And I'm gonna keep on the chain because I know what she'll do. He has a 200-pound plus dog biting my fence, climbing up on my fence. My dog not even in season yet. He trying to get over there. He tell me he can give me a ticket. If I get hurt, I want a copy of this tape also. I'm gonna FOI that when I leave here. My baby right there can't come out the back door without me sitting out there with a gun to keep this dog on that side of the fence. This young man cussed me out. I've been there since 2015. I'm not running. My child don't have to stay in the house. He's autistic. He's a genius in books. He has no friends. That dog is his friend. So, if I don't get no relief today, I'll be back at the next city council meeting.
Animal control, Mr.
I got the text right here. I got all the paperwork I need from y'all. This ain't my first merry-go-round with y'all.
So let me,
everything I need, I got right here.
let me ask you this. So you saying the animal control had an issue with you having a dog on the chain?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
I got the tape right here. I got videos on my phone. This is every night since this dude been here with a dog climbing up on my fence, biting my fence. I can't go out there in my backyard without a pistol. I'm a homeowner.
And
This dude been there 2 months. Don't nobody even know his name. He won't even speak to nobody. He works 16-hour shift. These dogs are dangerous to the neighborhood, period. Kids out for the summer break. Scared to walk down the street because this dog is taller than my 4-foot fence.
Stay in the mic.
and will bite. He can't call the dog.
No, he said-
He can't call the dog unless he's feeding the dog. So how you gonna stop that dog when he come across in my backyard? I came run, I got 2 discs out of my neck, I replaced knee, nerve damages, heart problems, 7 stents, etc. 5 doctors. I'm not gonna run from no dog in my backyard. My baby ain't not gonna stay in the house this summer because of an ignorant ordinance about giving me a ticket. My dog is actually good because my dog got a chain on there can hold him. He don't have nothing on 2 dogs. I got my shot ready. I need animal control to go make sure he got his as of tomorrow. Quarantine them dogs, I bet they ain't. You want to see these pictures of this dog? Put this video in. This is show you better because y'all ain't gonna pass my phone around enough. This has been going on every night since he's been there.
It sounds like your problem can be corrected.
I tried to do that.
Well, it's finna be
They talk about
corrected
giving
now.
me tickets.
It's finna be corrected now, okay?
Thank you. Thank you. I bet the world I know.
What is that address, sir?
49 Western Drive. Mr. May's been out there. He's seen the dog.
Say
Animal
the
control
address
ran
again.
back from the fence.
And if you got your dog chained up, I'm trying to understand why you getting a ticket.
That's what I want to know. I had 3 of them took when I got out in 90 because I followed the ordinance and let the dog out for a few minutes. The dog jumped the fence. $500 fine, they took my dog. They're not taking this one. I'm not taking it off the chain. My dog would do what it's supposed to do. I got her on a long chain, 2 hold her there. She mind me at my command.
49 Western Drive. 49 Western Drive.
Yes.
And I invite y'all to go out and look at that.
He's been there. These kids out. These kids can't walk. Kids play all day in Dollar Way. Y'all scared to come out, the police scared to come out there half the time because of the shootings. I'm a mentor to all those kids. Anybody gonna tell you about me out there? This dude right here, ain't nobody even know. And you got 2 beasts over there that you can't control.
That's a big
My
old
baby
dog,
time
too.
standing in the house. And I'm not gonna say all my equipment on my back deck, my treadmills, my stair climbs, all that for my health. I can't do that without sitting out there with a pistol. That's crazy.
That's a big dog, too, man.
You saw it.
Yeah, I invite y'all to go out there.
Y'all want to watch it. I got the video. Get it from my control. I got one. Y'all can get one.
Your problem's gonna get corrected.
I bet you don't. I bet time of you, that whole everybody will know about time up, and my child and me. That's not a that's a problem. Let's go, boy. I ain't got
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You have a good evening.
Good meeting, man.